Hello, my beautiful friends. How are you all doing today? I hope you're having an amazing Sunday, or if you are watching the replay, whatever day it is, I hope it's a fabulous one. If you are watching the replay, take a minute, leave me a comment down below, and let me know when you're watching, because I'd love to hear from you. For those of you that are joining me live, how are you guys? I hope you are all well. We're going to start out this kind of live stream the same way that we start out every single one. I'm going to ask you this question here. Have you had a lazy Sunday so far, or have you been being productive? It has been a kind of a combination of the two for me. I did some productive things, but I've also been spending quite a bit of time just kind of hanging out, chilling. So, it's been a good balance for me. I went and ran a few errands that I needed to run. I got up extremely early, actually, for a Sunday for me. It was like just after 7 when I crawled out of bed. So that was a thing that happened. My husband actually woke me up kind of moving around our bedroom. He never wakes up early, but for whatever reason on this Sunday, he was wide awake and raring to go at 7. So we both kind of got up, had a little bit of a leisurely morning, drinking coffee and whatnot, and then after that we got productive, started up some laundry, did a few things, like I said, ran a few errands. So kind of a mid-range kind of Sunday for me. So you have had a lazy Sunday. That is wonderful. I love a good lazy Sunday. Something about just being able to take it slow. Love that. Great. Share a few of your answers here. Productive Friday and Saturday. That's good. You can do a good balance. Just letting you guys know, it seems like your comments are coming in at a bit of a delayed rate. So I promise you I'm not ignoring you if I don't get to your comment, but they're like all popping up at once. So there's a bit of a delay on my end. Hopefully it'll catch up. Hopefully the video quality is good for you all. Hello, Kat. How are you doing today? Took your son to work at 7 a.m. and then came home, been lazy ever since. That's what I like to hear. I am all about being productive, but something about a lazy Sunday just feels so great. All right, so lazy Sunday, laying in the sun. Hanan, your picture that you just posted in the Facebook group, oh, I'm so jealous of your vacation. So jealous. It looks amazing. Cat, Krispy Kreme, that sounds wonderful. Someone paid for your coffee? That is so cool. Little things like that just can make your whole day. That sounds like a great time. What did you have for breakfast? I'd love to hear about that. It's Monday for you. Sunday was a lazy day of doing not much of anything. I love that. Hi, how are you? Thanks for hanging out with me today. So, you guys, it has been an amazing week for me. I want to talk a little bit about the week and how it went. I want to hear about your guys' week too. So if you watched any of my videos this week, you know that we got the stimulus check and we did so many amazing things with it. And in addition to that, my husband also got a bonus from work. So it was like all these blessings bestowed upon us all at once. We were able to pay off my Amazon card, which you guys know that I have like an emotional situation with that card because, it was just kind of hard for me to kind of break up with the Amazon card. I have an Amazon shopping addiction, and I had accumulated that debt shopping for things, and I was just really eager to get it paid off. When I entered in the payoff amount and clicked the send button, I cried. being able to say goodbye to that debt was incredible for me. So it's gone. Amazon card's gone. I still have the card open, but I have not had any urge to shop at all. There's such a peace in me knowing that that card is gone, and I don't have to pay interest, all the interest we were going to have to pay on that card. It was such a blessing to be able to kind of pay it all off in one fell swoop. And it was just incredible. And on top of that, you guys, I got some really wonderful gifts from some of you guys. I don't even know how to tell you how much it made my day going to my mailbox and receiving some things. I don't ever want you guys to feel like you have to send me anything, but the items that I received this week came at sort of a lull in the week, right at the start of the week when everything was kind of hectic and crazy, and it totally made my day. So I want to take a minute and give a special thank you to Hanan and to Latoya, who, you know, made it so that I had some happy mail this week, and I want to share with you guys what they sent me, because it was really, really sweet and thoughtful. So I'll show you guys that in just a second. Let me just catch up here on the comments. I hope that the clicking of me selecting comments isn't quite as bad this week as it was last week. I did get a wireless mouse to try to prevent some of that, but I know it's still clicky and it's loud. I apologize. Thank you, Kat. I really, really like this StreamYard service. I think that it makes it so much easier to be able to pull your guys' comments up on the screen. I'm not spending all of my time trying to read the comments out loud so that the people that are watching back can kind of keep up with where I am in the chat. I think it's just so much better with StreamYard. And I hope that all of our friends that do live streams on a regular basis will start using StreamYard as well, because it's an awesome resource. That sounds amazing. I actually, for breakfast, ended up eating a salad. Weirdly enough, I wasn't feeling breakfast food, so I bought some of those salad kits from Market Side, and the one I had this morning was the kale and pecan one. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it was delicious. Thank you so much. I'm telling you, there were tears streaming down my face when I was finally able to say goodbye to that card. And we have just 3 cards left, you guys, so we are getting towards the end. Thank you, Victoria. I was so excited to be able to put that video out and be able to do that. Thank you. That is incredible. Congratulations. The light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, I bet you that feels so good. Hi, Krista. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, well, thank you for watching. I appreciate you all so much for all of your support. That video got way more views in the first 12 hours that it was posted than any of my other videos for the last couple of weeks. So that made me feel really good. Thank you guys for all of your support. Yes, congratulations. Southeast Michigan neighbor. Hi, how are you? Isn't it beautiful out today? A little bit chilly, but the sun is shining. It's just gorgeous. That sounds awesome. All right, so let me show you guys what I was sent this week, because it was, like I said, just so thoughtful, so sweet. So the first thing is this book that I read in exactly one day. It was so good, I couldn't put it down. This was on my wish list. I have an Amazon wish list that I set up mostly for myself. Whenever I get that urge to shop, rather than going in and clicking and adding things to the cart and then buying them, I just put them on my wish list. And that way I'm still getting the satisfaction of scrolling through Amazon, looking at stuff, clicking on things, but I'm not spending money. So when I mentioned that, I had a couple of you ask if I would share my wish list. So I did do that. I was hesitant to because I wasn't sure how that would be received, but you guys have all been super sweet about it. And this was one of the items that was sent to me. Hanan sent this to me. And if you guys have not read this book, I urge you to read it. If you like thrillers, this was incredible. So this is about a matchmaking service, only they match you up based on your DNA. This is actually a Netflix show that just came out this week as well, based on this book. I did try to watch that a little bit, but it's very different from the book, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but the book I loved. If you guys ever read this, it's called The One by John Mars. It's really, really good. I highly recommend it. I could not put it down. It follows 5 or 6 different characters and what they go through once they are matched by this matchmaking service. And like I said, it is a thriller, so I know it sounds like a romance, but it's definitely not. Highly recommend it. I'll read you guys the little synopsis on the back quickly because I don't want this to take up too much time. It says, a simple DNA test is all it takes, just a quick mouth swab, and soon you'll be paired with your perfect partner. At least that was the promise made when scientists found the gene that can determine your ideal match. But the discovery has its downsides. Test results have led to countless breakups and changed the traditional ideas of dating, romance, and love. Now 5 very different people have received their match, but happily ever after isn't guaranteed for everyone because even soulmates have secrets, and some are more shocking than others. So it's really, really good. Definitely recommend that. In addition to that, is this. I cannot wait to play this game. Thank you so much. For my Switch that I bought, I've only had just the one game, and I've been saving up to buy another game, but I don't quite have enough yet. So now I have this to add to my little collection. Gives me something else to play. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciate that. Incredible. I've got some skinny syrups here. Have you guys had these for your coffee? Oh my gosh. I love these, but I never buy them for myself. So when these arrived in the mail, I was super excited. It's a little trio, and it's salted caramel flavor, which I think is going to be my favorite because I love all things salted caramel. And then there's also vanilla and mocha. So those are going to be great for sweetening my coffee without adding a bunch of calories. You guys know that the Weight Watchers thing has not been going so well. This past week, actually, I was back on track all week, and I was down a little bit when I weighed in, so that was great. Or actually, I wasn't down, but I wasn't up either. I hadn't weighed in a few weeks, so I was kind of terrified that I was going to be like way up, and I wasn't. And I think I definitely owe that to being back on track with Weight Watchers. So this is definitely going to help with that because I use a lot of sugar-free creamers. But there's lots of different flavors that you just can't get sugar-free, but you can with these. So I'm excited about that. For some reason, you thought Happy Mail was when you got Happy Planner stuff. Is it? Am I wrong? I thought Happy Mail was just any kind of mail that made you happy. I don't know, but I'm excited about it. So it makes me happy I'm calling it Happy Mail, whether that's the term or not. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about those things. Another thing that I received from Hanan, she really, really spoiled me. I don't deserve it for sure. Is a little iced tea maker, which I'm loving. It is, I don't think I have it here. Do I? Oh, I do have it here. It's this. I love the idea of this. I cannot wait to use it. It is for loose leaf tea. You can put the loose leaf tea in the bottom, and then you can put your ice in here, and when you press it down, all of the tea leaves will get pressed down into the bottom, and it's going to make it super easy for brewing on the go. You guys know how much I love my tea, and especially iced tea in the summertime, so this is going to be great. You can use it with tea bags as well. I've seen something like this from David's Tea a lot, but they're pretty darned expensive, and this seems like it's the same thing. So I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to try it. I will let you guys know if you have tried anything like this before. Let me know in the comments. I'm loving that. And then the last thing was from Latoya, which she sent me a little note along with it saying that it was to celebrate 7,000 subscribers. So thank you, Latoya. I don't think you're watching, but I so appreciate it. And she sent me this Switch case so that whenever I take my Nintendo Switch with me on the go, I don't have to worry about dropping it or breaking it. And this is going to be so handy. So it's just, you know, a little protective case for it, so I can put my little games and stuff in there. It has a little slot for that, and then it has an area where you can put like your Joy-Cons and stuff. So this is going to be super, super functional for me, and I'm so, so excited about that. So thank you for those of you that sent me things. I really appreciate it. Please don't feel like you have to. I was really, really hesitant to include my wish list because of that. Like, I didn't want people feeling like you had to send me something to be my friend or something. That's not at all what this was about, but I really do appreciate it. I wanted to shout you guys out for being so thoughtful. Anytime that I receive a card or a note in the mail, or even like an email or a comment, it just warms my heart and makes my day. So thank you guys. I just wanted to make sure that I did that while I had you guys here. Thank you. So let's see here. Happy Planner mail for sure makes sense. Yeah. But I think I think it's anything that makes you happy that comes in the mail. Yeah. Usually bills and junk for sure. Yeah. Definitely. The Jordan skinny syrups are good. The Tarani, I think is what they're called. They're all like sugar-free sweeteners that you can add to your coffee, or sugar-free flavors, I guess. They're made with sucralose, I think. What did I just do with those here? Let me check the ingredients. Yeah, they're all sucralose. At least these Jordan skinny syrups are. I don't know about the Tarani ones, but they're all 0 calories, and I think that they're going to be great. I've definitely tried a few flavors of the skinny syrups, but I don't think I've tried these specific ones. I usually get them at like TJ Maxx or Marshall's around the holidays. They'll usually have like a peppermint flavored one or a pumpkin one. So yeah, and obviously they're all available on Amazon. All of this stuff came from Amazon. So yeah, so that is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. It was just such a good week between the Happy Mail and being able to pay off that Amazon card. I have a that snowball update for you guys that's going to go up early next week, where I talk about paying that off and then what card is coming next. So you guys can be on the lookout for that. But you guys, we're down to 3 credit cards, and our debt is now under $10,000, which is amazing. I don't think I've ever actually done like a debt confession where I talk about how much debt we started out with. I guess this comment doesn't need to be up here on the screen anymore. Because my husband has never really wanted to share like the overall amount because he's embarrassed, I guess. And, you know, people in my real life do watch my videos occasionally, and I think that that's just something he's never wanted to admit. And also because we started out paying off debt, we paid off a bunch, and then we added a bunch to it, and then we paid some, and then we added more to it. So the overall debt total, I'm not really sure of. But either way, regardless of what the overall total was, we're now under $10,000. I can see the end. By the end of this year, we should for sure be able to pay that debt off and move on to bigger and better things, house building or buying or something along those lines. I don't know exactly what we're going to do. We definitely will still have debt once our credit cards are paid off. We still have a car loan. We still have a camper loan. I'm not so concerned about paying those off at such a rapid rate. I think that we can definitely get the cards paid off and then focus more on saving for a down payment. We will probably decide to pay extra towards some of those or one of those other loans, but I'm not in so much of a hurry in terms of those loans. I just don't have the same negative connotation with those as I do with the credit cards. I don't know, you can agree with that or not, but I think that's the plan. I think we're going to get all our cards paid off and then focus on saving for a down payment on a house. Just thinking about that makes me want to cry. I cannot believe it that we're going to be there before we know it. Time moves so fast, so I don't think there's any doubt that it's going to come before we know it. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Whenever I posted that stimulus budget, I did get just one comment that was kind of negative about the way that I chose to spend my stimulus money, because I didn't include my kids in that according to that comment, which is silly because every single thing that I did with that money directly benefits my children. I've seen a lot of controversy though, on social media and stuff, people saying that they should give their kids that $1,400 because if you didn't have the kids, then you wouldn't get that money. And so I was expecting a little bit of kind of negativity with how I chose to spend my stimulus money in terms of that. But I was really pleased that it was just that one comment. But I think that the stimulus money being what it is, any way that you have chosen to spend it or if you've chosen to save it, it's all super personal. And reading your guys' comments on that video talking about what you were planning to do with your stimulus, it sounds like so many of us are tackling debt with it or putting it into savings, and I think that's a great thing. That is amazing, Kat. You have that in front of you, but think about how much that you have already put behind you. I love watching your videos and listening to you talk about this amazing adventure you're on with paying things off and your new home. And if you guys don't follow Kat Ritz, I highly recommend it. She is just the sweetest. Thank you so much. You are honestly one of the most encouraging people that I've had the pleasure of getting to know through this debt-free community. So I really, really appreciate all of your sweet comments and all of your support. It means the world to me. Thank you. When I first started posting budget videos, I was kind of showing our income, not really, because I was lumping it in with a bunch of other things. So you could not get a real idea of how much my husband was making. And I found that the more I shared specifics in terms of income totals and debt totals, the more people were kind of getting caught up on the overall totals instead of the process. And for me, sharing my debt-free journey is all about teaching how I do it, sharing my experience. I mean, I'm no expert or anything, but it's less about the total overall and more about the journey. So thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. The support that I get from you guys 100% keeps me going. I struggle sometimes with wanting to quit and wanting to just go shopping or just, put that extra money towards something else instead of paying it towards debt. It's almost like boring to have to pay every dime you have to debt. But then I think about you guys and how much you encourage and support me, and it really gets me through some of the tough times. I really appreciate it. I did not mean for this to turn into a total love fest for you, but I can't help it. This community is incredible. Oh my gosh, this is what I love to hear. The fact that I am able to inspire some of you, that there's no greater feeling in the world. Thank you for sharing that with me. I think that will be up on Monday. I have it all filmed. I just need to sit down and edit it. Hopefully I can get it up for you guys tomorrow. Yeah, thank you. I get so few negative comments that when I do get one, it kind of hits me a little hard because there's just so much positivity from everyone that watches my channel. So when I get a little tiny bit of negativity, it's like, yikes. But honestly, I don't know if that comment really was meant to come off as sarcasm or as snark. She kind of like backpedaled a little bit and said I didn't mean, I don't remember. There was a whole long thread, but either way, anytime there's any sort of negativity, it kind of hits me a little rough, but it's just because I'm so used to you guys being so positive. Yeah, I don't think there is any gift that could be better for my children than security and being debt-free and not having to worry about that. And teaching them how to budget, how to handle money. That was something that when I was growing up, my parents didn't talk to us about money. And, I never knew whether they were struggling or how much money my parents made. I didn't know if they had debt or didn't have debt. And obviously, you don't want to talk to your kids about your financial struggles and make them like afraid that they're not going to be able to eat tomorrow or that they're going to lose their home. But I think that there's a big lesson that can be learned if we talk about our finances and we don't make it a taboo topic. Then maybe my children won't go into their financial futures making the same mistakes that I did. If I can teach them what not to do, then I think that is super important. This 100%. If I could give them $1,400, I would love to do that. But let's be real, they would take it and they would blow it on things that, they don't need and probably wouldn't even appreciate long term. Like a 13-year-old can't be responsible with money the same way that an adult would. Although my 13-year-old is incredibly responsible and incredibly grown up. Honestly, I would worry more about my 18-year-old and what he would do with that money. But using the money to take care of them and to provide for their future is obviously what it was intended and what it was meant for. So the snarky comment is what it is. It's whatever. Thank you. Yeah, the United States has handled this whole pandemic differently, I think, than a lot of other areas of the world. But I was really, really grateful and felt very blessed to receive that stimulus money, especially given that we have not suffered a whole lot in terms of my husband's income. So it was really just an extra added blessing for us, and I was so grateful to receive it. That's a great point. Yeah. It's definitely all about the process for me. And, you know, in my videos, I have a little disclaimer at the bottom of my description box. Says, you know, I'm not an expert. All I'm doing is kind of sharing my situation and how I go about things. The way that I do things is not necessarily the best way or the way that you should 100% do it. It's just one way, right? There's so many different ways to budget, and everyone has a different goal in mind with their budget. And so just because you see me doing things one way doesn't mean it's necessarily going to work for you, but the process might inspire you to think of something a different way or to try something a different way. And that's what I love about this community. Like, people watch me to get advice or to just, you know, see the process, but I'm constantly learning new things too by watching budget videos. And you know, it helps me to not feel like I'm alone in this situation. So I love our community. Yeah, it's amazing to me. I'm in quite a few groups on Facebook for financial freedom and that sort of thing. And there's been a lot of people saying, you know, that their kids should be given that cash, or they should be doing this with their cash. Like, we don't, I guess we do kind of do that in life overall. We are judgmental. We think that we know best and that everyone should do things the way that we do it. And when I say we, I know that that's not everyone, but there's definitely people out there that are like that. But I couldn't believe it. Like, why are you telling me what to do with my money? Crazy. Especially in a way that is not so polite. Like, there's constructive criticism, there's advice, and then there's just people being assholes. Oh my gosh, I'm so behind on your guys' comments. Sorry. Thank you so much. I'm so excited that I was able to inspire you to do that. I love hearing about people joining this community, starting a YouTube channel. That's amazing. Oh my gosh, that sounds so much fun. Have a blast. Let me just read your comments really quickly, catch up a little bit. I'm so far behind. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. That sounds so wonderful. So thoughtful of you. Yeah, I think it's so important to teach the value of money. My 18-year-old has been struggling a little bit in terms of like making his own money and then making wise decisions with that money, because, you know, as a brand new adult, earning his own money really for the first time, just like in this last year, he's started earning his own money, and having to think about the idea that, you know, someday he's going to have to take care of himself, and he's not going to have mom and dad to pull him out if he spends too much money on energy drinks and McDonald's. So, you know, it's definitely a life lesson, and it's important. Yeah, a lot of people, I think, are in this situation, unfortunately, with everything going on. I'm sorry that you found yourself in that situation, but I'm glad that the payment was able to help you. Let's see. Your goal is to save $10,000. and you're moving. Okay. Knowing that will be saved but then spent, would you include that as saved? Yeah, absolutely. Definitely include it as saved, I would think, because you're saving it. Even if you're going to spend it later, whenever I include money in my sinking funds, I know that that money is going to get spent. I still consider it savings. So yeah, I would think so. Just make sure you're keeping that in mind for your overall savings. I mean, it's your goal, right? It's your goal to save $10,000. You kind of set the terms for that. So if you decide that you want to save $10,000, and $6,000 of that goes to your moving expenses, I don't see why not. It's all about what makes you happy. I don't think you can really go wrong either way in that situation. Yeah, I think that our parents, that generation, really thought that they were doing what was best for us, obviously. But had I known about my parents' struggles a little bit more, I think that it would have better prepared me. And of course, now we're in a time when the information is out there, and it's so easy to get your hands on the information in terms of, financial advice. Everybody knows that if you get a credit card and you spend the money and you don't pay it back, you're in for a world of hurt, right? I mean, I don't think that anybody is fooling themselves into thinking that they can just take that money for free and they never have to worry about paying it back. But I think an open line of communication goes a long way. And seeing your parents or your loved ones make mistakes and how they recover from those mistakes is a huge life lesson. Yep, 100%. That Fortnite, Xbox, it does it every time. My son is 13 and he is a really good saver. So he is, I guess it all depends on personality type, right? But when it comes time for him to spend money, it's exactly what he spends it on. Yeah, that's great. I was trying to talk to my son about money this morning, actually, because he just he's going to be doing seasonal work again this summer, doing lawn care and stuff. And I was talking to him about saving a percentage of his money rather than trying to save a certain amount, because his pay is not going to be consistent and because he doesn't really have a whole lot of responsibilities right now, being that he lives with us. He should consider saving in percentages rather than amounts. So if he earns $200, he should, put this percentage away for bills, this percentage away for savings. And I said, we could sit down and talk about it some more and really come up with a budget. But you can sit and come up with a budget all day long, but if you don't stick to it, then it's pointless. And that is the lesson that he's struggling to learn, is he can sit and write a budget, no problem. But then he's got to keep his impulses under control and not spend every dime he gets just because he gets it. And I think that at a young age is tough anyway. So he's learning, but I think the discussions happening, super, super important. I was just telling my husband this the other day. He was super, super stressed out about something that, in the grand scheme of things, he was stressed out about work. They've been super busy at work and he was super stressed out. And I said, at the end of the day, it's just a job, right? Life is short. Don't get caught up in it. Appreciate what you got. Don't stress about what you can't control. Don't let it overcome you. And I think that's super important. That's awesome. That is really awesome. I love that. That is a great way to teach them about saving up for things that are important to them. I love that. Excuse me. So that's some perspective for you. You knew what was going on with your financial situation, and you're glad that you knew. See, I think that we definitely need to obviously protect our kids, shelter them from anything that they can't handle, but be honest. My kids know how much debt we have. They know that we are on a journey to pay off debt, and that's the reason why they can't just go and spend, $100 on video games, because while video games are fun and that would be super awesome for them in this moment, we're looking at the long term, and we're trying to make it so that we can buy a house and we can provide for them later on. And they really appreciate and understand that. And that helps a lot with my feelings of guilt with having to tell them no, because they understand why I'm telling them no. That's for sure a problem that we've dealt with too. The girls, man. Whew. That's awesome. That at 6, she's learned that lesson. That's really awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we haven't really figured out exactly what percentages are going to work best for him. He has very, very few expenses. So a lot of his money is just his to do with what he pleases, but if left to his own devices, he will literally spend it all on energy drinks and McDonald's. So we really have to come up with a plan for him. He has to pay his phone bill, and he has to pay his car insurance and his gas. The other thing that he does is pays rent, which is a very small amount of rent. And what he doesn't know is we are taking the rent that he pays and putting it into an envelope for him for when he moves out. He doesn't know that. We haven't told him that. But that's one of his expenses as well. So other than that, though, he's pretty much free to do with his money whatever he will. And I'm trying to teach him the value of saving and holding on to it, because someday he's going to be grateful that he was able to save so much money at this point in his life when he doesn't have a lot of expenses. Someday he's going to have a lot of expenses, and he's going to be glad that he has that savings. Getting that through his head is tough sometimes, because, he doesn't want to think about the future. He wants to think about today. And I just lost my place with the comments. That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope you can get him on board and fully work together, because there's nothing better than being united when it comes to that sort of thing. You'll have so much more success if you guys are both on the same page. Yeah, it's not a lot. Obviously, because he's paying rent, so I'm not going to charge him a ton of money for rent. So I would love to save more for him, but we're putting aside that money every month for him, and he'll be super excited and grateful when he gets it. And if he's struggling one month and he can't pay rent, obviously we're not going to boot him out, but it's also a really good lesson for him to learn what it's like to have to pay rent. So I don't know. I think we all win in that situation. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that church was wonderful. I'm so glad you were able to stop by. Yeah, I don't think that anybody was prepared for the pandemic and the way that it affected like everyday life. I don't think that there was any way that we could have been prepared for that. Now that we've sort of lived through it, we'll be better prepared for the next situation that we're in that's puts us in a similar financial state. But in terms of savings, I am so glad that so many of us in this community were already on a debt-free journey and had already learned how to manage money before this happened, because it wasn't such a culture shock when you had to kind of shut down all your spending because you didn't have any more money coming in. And I think that this pandemic has also made a lot of people more frugal and more aware of their savings and their spending. So if nothing else, I guess that's one good thing that came from everything. Yeah, it's a good lesson for him. Having an adult child is definitely new to us. It's not something we've dealt with before. I feel like 9 times out of 10 I'm doing things wrong, but I think that that's one thing we got right. You shouldn't feel guilty about that. That was something that you needed. You 100% should not feel guilty about investing in something that's you're going to use every single day. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I think that's a great way to use that money. All right, I think I'm all caught up on the comments for the most part. Hi from Russia. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I may have missed a couple of comments here and there. You guys are just like chatting away, and I'm blabbering and not paying attention. So I apologize if I missed your comment. If there's anything that you want to make sure that I see, you can just type it in again. But yeah, I'm all kind of caught up. What are you guys doing for the rest of your Sunday? So right now, everybody in my household is gone. There's nobody here but me. Austin went with a friend to an escape room, I think is what they're doing today, which is exciting. He was super psyched about it, so he got picked up and went to do that. Robbie is doing some work for a friend, and Eric, I think, is outside cleaning up the yard. We have had a huge mess in our yard. Finally, all the snow is melted, so he's been spending a lot of time cleaning up out there and getting our shed kind of cleaned out, all of that sort of thing. So that's what he's doing. And once I'm done chatting with you all, I have to finish up laundry. I've got about 3 loads left. I want to do just like a quick tidy of my house, and I need to get a grocery order placed. And, well, I got to plan a meal and write a grocery list first. And then put in a grocery order, and that's pretty much it. And then I'm going to go back to watching. I have been watching The Affair. It was a Showtime show. Have you guys seen that show? It's very risque, and it's rated M for mature, and it is. But it's got one of my favorite actors, Joshua Jackson, in it, who I've been in love with since I was like 14 or 15. And I've really been enjoying that. So that has been my guilty pleasure this week, although I never really feel guilty about my pleasures, but I've been watching that and really enjoying it. So that is what I'm going to do for the rest of my day. So what are you guys doing for the rest of yours? What do you have on the agenda? Packing and laundry. I am so excited for you in your new home. I hope that you're planning on sharing a lot of the process of moving and everything. We are having hot dogs tonight for dinner too, grilling them. So excited about that. Awesome. Well, maybe there's a nap in your future. Although with as busy as you always are, I doubt you nap. If not being able to go out and just buy everything you want means you're poor, then I think we're all that way. But that's interesting. Laundry. I swear, laundry is never done around here. Speaking of laundry, I got a Stitch Fix box this past week, you guys. I did film it, but I don't know if that's a video that I'm actually going to end up producing and putting out because the footage isn't great from what I've seen. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a decent video out of it or not, but I got some super cute items in my Stitch Fix box. And I also placed an order with American Eagle. I got some new jeans. I got a fashion to figure order that's going to be coming for another pair of jeans. I really needed to stock up on a few pieces of denim. And I also just placed an order at Old Navy. They were having a huge sale. It seems like Old Navy is always having a sale. So my spring wardrobe is coming right along. I'm super excited about it. That is so awesome. I love to hear that. Yes. Yep, that's the one. Joshua Jackson. I just love him. He was in Dawson's Creek, and that's where I fell in love with him. He was my first love. And so I just adore him. But yeah, he was also Charlie Conway on the Mighty Ducks movies. Busy day. Looks like lots of people catching up on housework. You got 15 inches of snow. Oh my goodness, Kat. Yeah, Mondays are always my busiest days too. Lots of kind of catching up on the work that I let go over the weekend and getting everything kind of set and situated for the week. I hope that your Monday is going well, though. I struggle with that too. I have a lot of insomnia. If I nap during the day, I definitely won't sleep at night. And that sets you into a really bad cycle of not sleeping at night, but then wanting to sleep all day because you didn't sleep at night, and that's no good. I haven't been bowling in, oh my gosh, probably 2 or 3 years. That sounds like so much fun. Yes, 100%. Yep. I have 3. I think we've talked about this before. Joshua Jackson, Darren Criss, and David Boreanaz. Yum. If you guys aren't familiar, Darren Criss was Blaine on Glee. That's where most people know him from. I've had the pleasure of meeting him on multiple occasions, and he is sweet as can be and so damn fine. And of course, everybody knows David Boreanaz, right? Angel from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He was also on Bones, and he's played on, oh gosh, everything. Yeah, so good. What is a hall pass? So we don't call it a hall pass, but I'm pretty sure that she means, that one person you can get away with being with, despite the fact that you're married. So if you were locked in an elevator with someone, you have permission to do whatever you want with that someone, right? That's what we're talking about, right? Yeah, those are my 3. Those are my 3 freebies. If ever I have given the opportunity, my husband would look the other way. And he has his 3 too. And they're, of course, celebrities that we will never, ever, ever get the opportunity to have any sort of relations with. But still, it's fun to daydream about. Yeah, sleep is super, super important. That sounds like fun. But yeah, those are like my 3 celebrity crushes, I guess. We'll just make it super innocent and call it that. Yeah, he is so fine. Even as he gets older, he just gets better looking. What is that? Where does that magic come from? I wish that I had that. Yeah, he is so damn fine. I'm not familiar with Spencer Reid, but Kenny Chesney, I'm right there with you. Yeah. I think for my husband, I haven't heard his list in a while. We haven't had this conversation in a while, but I know for sure that Jennifer Garner is on there. He thinks that she's just beautiful. And Katie Holmes, I don't remember who his third was. We each picked 3. And the only one on my list that I've even had the opportunity to be in the same room with, like I said, is Darren Criss. Darren Criss did the Harry Potter musicals. I don't know if you guys have seen those. They're not very well known unless you're kind of in that circle of people that know. Like, if you are in the know, you know what I mean? That's where I first learned about him. He played Harry Potter in a Harry Potter musical, which was a YouTube sensation a while back. And I've followed his career since then. Like I said, I've had the opportunity to meet him. He played Hedwig on Broadway in Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and I was lucky enough to go and see that show and go backstage afterwards and chat with him for a while there. I've met him on a couple of different occasions. He is just a sweetheart. Well, that is no fun. I mean, it's so lovely that he says that he would never, but that's no fun at all. It's just an innocent little game. If I was actually locked in an elevator with David Boreanaz, I think that we would simply chat and that's all we would do. But it's still fun to think about. Yes, I agree with that. 100%. Yeah. Very, very attractive man. Mm. I don't have any idea who any of those people are. I'm going to have to Google them so that I have some sort of frame of reference. Oh, Jessica Alba is so gorgeous. That character as well, Celie Booth, just a great character in general. I would have loved the character regardless because I love David Boreanaz, but something about his character just does it for me. I love that show too. That's one of my all-time favorites. Have you guys watched Bones? It's a favorite of mine. It's about a forensic anthropologist working with the FBI to solve crimes, and it's really good. It's got Emily Deschanel in it, and some other people that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. It's got a great cast of characters. Spencer Reid is a character on Criminal Minds. Okay, so I have watched Criminal Minds, but only an episode here or there. I've never watched the whole thing. So I will have to do that because I get recommended that one all the time. Zac Efron's another one of mine. I mean, very, very attractive man. Yes. Zephron. There you go. Maybe someday you'll have the good fortune to run into him. Yeah, I don't think I'm familiar with Kurt Browning. The name sounds familiar, but I can't put a face to the name. You would do that, really? I don't know if I would have. I don't know if I would be brave enough to do that. Had to stop watching Criminal Minds. Interesting. So, how many of you are Law and Order fans, and are you excited about the new Law and Order coming out in April with Stabler coming back? I can't wait. I am literally counting down the days because I am a huge SVU fan and have been for 20 years. So having him come back, I'm so excited about his guest appearances on SVU and then his spinoff show. Oh, I can't wait for that. Your puppy is so cute. I saw him in your video that I watched. So cute. You have a good day. Thanks for hanging out with me. Yes, whenever I cannot find anything else to watch, I'll just start SVU over again. I love it. And it's so long and there's so many episodes that by the time you start from the beginning, you forgot what happened at the start. So it's all new again. Luke Perry. Rest in peace, Luke Perry. I take back what I said about Joshua Jackson being my first love because Dylan McKay was 100% my first love. 100%. I was watching that show before I even really understood the plot lines, and he was such a beautiful man. Oh. I can't even tell you how many tears I cried when he passed away. I think I even did a video on YouTube chatting about the loss of Luke Perry, now that I think about it. Okay, you guys, we have been chit-chatting for about an hour now, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But I hope that you all have an amazing week. Lots of great things to look forward to. We are wrapping up March here real soon, and we'll be on to April. Cannot wait for that. It's been so good lately. I'm so excited. Yes, Dylan McKay was your first crush too. Him and Brenda together. I definitely wanted the two of them to go for the long haul. Did not like him with Kelly at all, and I was so mad at Kelly for destroying their relationship. But anyways, thank you guys for watching today. Have a great week. I probably will not be live streaming at all throughout the week. It'll just be again next Sunday, so make sure you put it in your calendar. Next Sunday, 1 p.m. I would love to have you come back and chit-chat again. I was 100% Team Dylan. Yep. All the way. I love me a bad boy. Not that Brandon wasn't incredibly attractive, don't get me wrong, but a little too squeaky clean for my liking. I was all about Dylan. Yes, you too. Absolutely. And we could sit here for another hour talking about TV shows and relationships. But then I'll never get anything done. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye, friends.